Okay, so before going into understanding about BluePrism tool, first let's understand about what robotic process automation is all about. Okay, so it will give you a clear idea why people are adapting to this technology. Okay, so what are the advantages of shifting towards this technology? Okay, so to get an overview of what RPA is, we will discuss a few important points. Okay, so what is robotic process automation? Automation of repeatable and rule-based tasks using a software which is installed on a user's computer called robot or bot. Yeah, before going into that, if you have any questions, I'll give you time after the meeting, okay? And we can discuss about them, okay, at that time. I'll give you 10 to 15 minutes after the demo, okay? Or you can use the chat window to ping me the questions. Okay, so
Okay.
what the automation, the meaning of automation remains same even in RPA. Okay, so if you have any repeatable task and a rule based task, if you want to execute it without any human intervention, you call it as an automation, right? Even in RPA the meaning of automation is same. And when you install this particular software on your computer, okay, you call it as robot or bot. Okay, the bot is programmed to perform sequence of steps that a human user would do. Okay, so this means consider an example, logging into your Gmail account. Okay, so to log in into your Gmail account, you will follow certain sequence of steps, right? So first you have to navigate to your URL, then click on username, then type in your password, then click on login. So these are all certain sequence of steps which you will do in order to log into Gmail account. Similarly, you also have to design your process in such a way that it follows certain sequence of steps to complete a particular task. Okay, so the bot also will be programmed in the same way like a human user would do. Okay, so this is called as process. Process is nothing but a sequence of steps. Bot will work exactly like a human user by interacting with the user interface of the application. So this is going to be a very important point. So it will just mimic the human user. Okay, so the main important, the key point here is interacting. It is interacting only with the user interface of the application. Okay, so it is not going to get integrated with your application. Okay, say for example you are using Facebook. Okay, you will type in username, you will type in your password, and you will log in, you will post a picture and do some random stuff, and you really don't care what is running at the back end, right? You will only see the UI of the Facebook and you will do all your operations. Similarly, bot also will work only on the user interface of the application. It is not integrated with the application. It will sit on top of your application and it executes the stuff. Okay, so this is the key point. So robotic process, this is the meaning of precise meaning of robotic process automation. Okay, so hope you got basic idea. Let's understand the differences between RPA and any traditional automation. Okay, so this will give you clear idea about why we are moving towards RPA solutions. Okay, so in case of traditional automation, we need to select the language for automating the task. Okay, say you are planning to automate a ticket booking website, say IRCTC or Book My Show or any ticket booking website. To book that, to automate that particular application, in case of traditional automation, you have to choose the language out of multiple languages that are available. You can automate using Python, Selenium, REST APIs, or Java, or any other language. But in case of RPA, you are not going to use any code. You will just design your process and it will look like a flow chart. Okay, so now we will discuss the differences orally. When I'm showing you the tool, I will also show you an examples, and then we will reiterate these points, how different it is. Okay, so traditional automation requires in-depth knowledge of coding. Okay, so in case say if you are automating a website using Python, you need to really have a very good knowledge, very good expertise on coding language. You need to have a good command on the coding language which you are using. Okay, otherwise you will not be able to complete the task. But in case of RPA, you don't write code anywhere. Okay, you design your process in flow charts, and it will look like a GUI. Okay, I will show you once I'm going through the once we get the overview of the tool, you will understand it. Okay, I'll show you examples as well. Ease of usage and debugging. Okay, so this means when you are running your process, if there is any error, there is a process validation in the tool. Okay, so that will capture your errors, and it will take you to the exact location where there is an issue. Okay, so I will also show you an example how you can find out the errors and how you can debug them. Okay, so easy for integration techniques. Okay, so that means we have already discussed this bot is not going to get integrated with your application. It just works on UI of the application. Okay, so you don't want to you really don't, there is no need to integrate it with any of the other techniques. Okay, so consider you have automated IRCT website. Oh, this is an again important point. Integration techniques. You have automated IRCTC website. Okay, and in order to make your automation, in order to make your program 100% functional, you have also to take care, as a developer, you have to take care of integration techniques as well. So that means you have to integrate it with a firewall to provide security, or to a print server in order to print your ticket, so on. There will be many integration points. But in case of RPA, you don't have to really take care of any integration techniques, because as it is working only on UI, if you are able to reach from your system to anywhere, your bot also will be able to reach that particular place. If you are able to print ticket from your machine, if you design a bot, it will also be able to do that. You really don't have to integrate a print server, or you don't have to really take care of any other integration points. If you are able to reach anywhere, and if you install this software, and if you automate it without any integration, it will also be able to reach that particular application. Okay, so you install the tool, design the process, that's it, good to go. You don't have to really integrate anything. Robot can work across multiple platforms like Windows, web, Java, and mainframe applications. So these are all the types of applications you can automate using RPA BluePrism. So you can automate Windows applications like Excel, Notepad, etc. Web, Java, and mainframe applications like Google, Facebook, or any other web application. One robot can be trained to do more than one process at different schedules. Okay, so in this tool has an option where you can schedule the job. Okay, if you have multiple jobs, you can schedule them. You can schedule one job to run from 12 to 1. Your bot will automatically pick up that job and it will execute it, and the another job from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and so on. You can schedule the jobs here, and they will run without human intervention. Use existing IT infrastructure without making any changes to the current system and databases. This is again important. You don't have to integrate it. These points are correlated. You don't have to follow any integration techniques. So you don't have to make any existing infrastructure changes. Okay, so what you need is a tool with a proper license. Install it and you can automate all these applications: Windows, web, Java, and mainframe applications. You don't have to make any changes to your existing infrastructure. Higher employee productivity and satisfaction. So obviously you don't have to sit and write pages of code, and debugging is easy, and obviously you will be more productive, and if you are productive, you are satisfied. Okay, so like in any other technology, we also have certain limitations in RPA. Okay, so the average handling time of the bot is limited to speed of the application. Okay, so this means consider an example where you are downloading some files from internet and sending it to your friend. Okay, you have downloaded a document and you are planning it to send it for your friend. You are doing it every day. Okay, every day some new documents you are downloading and then uploading to your mail server or anything. You are sending it to your friend who is in need of them. Okay, so in that case, you one particular day you automated this task. Okay, and your bot is running. Okay, your process is running and it is connected to the internet. It is downloading the file. It would take exactly same amount of time like a human user would take. Okay, so this means it depends on the internet connectivity. bot cannot do magic and download the files. It will again take a same amount of time like how we take, like how a person takes to download the files. And also it depends on the application, how fast your application is responding. Okay, so that is called as average handling time. Even minor changes, the next limitation is even minor changes to the application will need the bots to be reconfigured. So this means, consider an example of Gmail or Facebook. You have username, right? Username and then a text box to type in your username. Okay, so in that case, you have typed in your username, and you have configured your bot to identify that particular username. You will use a spying techniques to identify elements in tool. Okay, so you identified username tab. Okay, but the Facebook application team have decided to change username to name. Okay, and after that change, you are running your process again. Okay, it will fail now because your process is trying to identify that particular element as username. Okay, but they changed it to name. Okay, so because of difference your process will fail. So this is so what you have to do is you have to reconfigure your bot to identify that change in the application. Okay, so hope you understood the limitations. These are two major limitations in RPA. Okay, so installation prerequisites. So for you to install BluePrism on your machine, you should have a supported Windows operating system. Okay, it is, as of now it is supported only on Windows. You should have .NET framework and Microsoft SQL Server database. And supported OS are Windows XP and later, and Windows Server 2000 Service Pack 4 and later. These are the installation prerequisites. Okay, you need to have a proper license to access all the modules that are available in the tool, and we will provide you with the license as well. Job roles, like in any other profession, even in RPA you have multiple job roles like RPA developer, technical lead, architect, manager and analyst. But if you are designing a process, you are called as RPA developer. You are not an automation tester or manual tester or anything. If you are designing or if you are creating a process, if you are automating something, you are called as RPA developer. Okay, so hope you got a basic understanding of what RPA is about, the differences between them and the limitations. Okay, so now I don't want to bore you with theory anymore. I'll show you the overview of the tool as well. Okay, I will I will log into the tool. Okay, and I will show you some examples how you can create a process, how you can run the process. Okay, and how you can interact with applications. So this is the BluePrism icon. Click on this. You have to log in with your credentials. Click on sign in. Yeah. So this is the main page. As soon as you log in, this is the main page you will see. There are 6 modules here: home, studio, control, dashboard, release and system. So you can navigate from left navigation bar here as well. Both are same. Okay, so if you see home module, this page is called as the dashboard and these smaller tabs are called as tiles. Okay, this entire page is called as dashboard. If you see, there is another module called dashboard. See, it has the same information. So dashboard and home is basically same. So we will discuss about it and when we come to this module, when we are discussing about dashboard module. So next module is studio module. Studio module is an important module. Okay, so studio module will again have 2 different sub modules: process and objects. Okay, so you can think of studio module as a development environment. Okay, so you will create your process in Process Studio. Okay, and we discussed you can automate web applications, Windows, Java and mainframe. Okay, so in order to automate them, you need to interact with those applications, right? So for that purpose you have an Object Studio. Okay, Object Studio is where you will design a process in case you want them to interact with applications. Okay, in Process Studio you will not be able to interact with applications. Object Studio is the place where you have to design your process in case if you want to interact with any of the applications like Windows, Java, web applications. Okay, so when I'm showing you examples, you will get a clear understanding how these two are different. Okay, we will come back and see about these two modules with an examples. Okay, so control module. See, we thought studio module is, you can also think of it as a development environment where you can develop your process. So control module is nothing but is a runtime environment. Okay, so once you create your process here, you have to run your process from control module. You can also run from studio module. There is another place. Once you publish this process, they will be visible in control room. Okay, I will show you how you can publish and how they will be visible here. Okay, for now you have to understand control module is a runtime environment. Once you create and publish your process, all the process will be available here. If you see, these are the available process. Okay, and available resources. This means this is nothing but the machine on which I have installed the BluePrism tool. Okay, so this is the machine where I have installed my BluePrism tool, and you have to run this process on top of this resource. Okay, and we talked about schedule, right? So you in control room itself you have scheduler. So create new schedule, and once your process is ready, you can create a name of that schedule and you can run it according to your requirement. You can select one of these options: weekly, hourly, monthly, daily, etc. Okay, so this is how you can schedule your jobs in control room. Okay, so next module is I don't want to save. Okay, next module is dashboard module. See, it will give you overall information about the tool. Workforce availability, it's showing as 100% available. This means we have one resource here and no process are running on top of it. It is in ideal state now. So it is saying 100% available. If it is running, it will say 0% available. It is nothing but it will just give you the status of your resources in percentage. Okay, total automations. So it will give you information of how many process you have in studio module. See, I have around 10 process and 12 to 13 objects here. So that is the same information it is showing, 10 process and 12 objects. Queue volumes, it is a complex topic. When you create work queues, you will be seeing some data of those queues here. Okay, so this is a little bit complex topic. We will deal it in training. Okay, so this entire page is called as dashboard. And here you can create your personal dashboard or global dashboard. So if you create a personal dashboard and if you log in with your credentials, only you can see it. If you create a personal dashboard, all the users who log into this particular tool will have access to that dashboard. Okay, so release is mainly for version control. Okay, so you can move your code between different environments like unit testing, production, and deployment. Okay, once you are done with your deployment, you can release the package here. You can create a new release and you can import the release, etc. So this is mainly used for version control. Okay, and system module is more like system admin settings. Okay, so if you see here, these are system settings where you can schedule, where you can see the scheduler information. You can archive the files. You can see the information about license and audit. All the process you run in the tool will be submitted for audit. Okay, so this is where all the process once you run, right, they will be submitted for audit here. And security, you can create users here. BluePrism tool provides security. It uses 256-bit encryption. Okay, so another way of providing security is having two different environments. Development module is completely different from your runtime environment. This is one way of providing security, and it uses 256-bit encryption. This is one of the major reason also why banking and investment institutions are adapting towards this technology. Along with other advantages, this is one more extra advantage the tool provides. It has security, and your production and environment are different. Production and runtime environments are completely different. Okay, so you can create your users here and you can authorize them to a particular module. Let's see how you can do that. I'll just create one user, for example. Admin, click next. See, you can set your password expiry date as you wish. I'm just leaving it to default now. Click next. Yeah, so if you want to authorize a particular person to be a developer, If you click on that, by default he will have access only to object and process studio. That means he will have access only to this studio module. And if you want to give access to a tester, he will have only access to control room, where he can schedule the jobs and where he can run the jobs which are already scheduled. Okay, so system administrator by default will have access to all the modules in the tool. So this is how you can authorize an user to have access only to the modules which you want them to access. Okay, so this is how you can create users. So you can authorize users here. Okay, yeah. So now, as you got a clear understanding, I hope you got clear understanding about these modules. I will show you with an example how you can create a process. Okay, so and difference between process and objects. Okay, so I will create a simple arithmetic process where you can add two numbers. Okay, so just for a demo purpose, so that you will see how you can run a process, how you can create it, and how you can use different stages that are available in the tool. So right click on it, click on create process, process one, click on next. I just want to give a demo on how you can do arithmetic operations here. Okay, finish. Yeah. So process is created here. Double click on the name of the process so that you can it will open the canvas. Okay, this is an empty canvas, or you can call it also worksheet. Okay, and as soon as you open, you can see three tabs already here, right? So if you click on this, delete is grayed out. Okay, so this means this is generated by system default, and it will show you information about name of the process, description of the process, who created it, and who last changed it. You will not be able to delete it. Okay, so similarly, start. These are all called as stages in BluePrism tool. All the stages, you will design a process, right? For that, you will use all these stages. Okay, so if you see, there is a start stage here already by default, and you will not be able to delete it as well. Delete is grayed out. Okay, so this means your process will start at only one exact place. It may take any different route and can end at multiple places. If you see end is highlighted, and there is an end stage available here. You can drag and drop as many end stages as you want, but there is no start stage. See, there is no start stage here. So it is simple. Your process will start only one place, and it can take any different route based on your requirement, based on how you design your process, and it can end at multiple places. Okay, it is not necessarily that it should end at one particular place. Okay, so now let's see how we can do a basic arithmetic operation. So you will get an understanding how you can create a process and run it. Okay, so the most important thing here in the tool is, before automating anything, before designing a process, what you have to understand is you have to understand the sequence of steps you are following. Okay, so if you remember, we discussed already, the process will look like a flow chart. Okay, and if you miss any sequence of the steps in between, your process is going to fail. Okay, sequence of steps is very important in the when you are designing a process. Okay, so once you have decided on the task you are going to automate, you have to be very clear on the sequence of steps and then the logic to implement those steps. Okay, you don't write code here. You don't have to really think about coding. These are the only two things you have to think about: sequence of steps and the logic to implement those sequence of steps. Okay, so now we are considering addition, right? A plus b. Okay, so these are basically numbers. If you want to add something, they are basically numbers, right? Like 1 plus 2 or 3 plus 2, anything. These basically you work with numbers. Okay, so if you want to add a plus b, you need two numbers to do addition, and you have to calculate them. And you have, once a plus b is done, you need some variable to store that result. Okay, so these are all the sequence of steps which you have to do. Okay, so in any programming language, you call as variable if you are storing any value. Okay, if you want to store any value, you will call it as a variable. So similarly, in BluePrism, you have a stage called data item. Okay, so you have to drag and drop this data item. Okay, data item is nothing but similar to variable. Okay, it will hold the value of a variable. Double click on that stage. Okay, and I'm naming it as A, value for A. I want to give value for A. Okay, so data type, there are multiple data types supported: password, text, time, flag, etc. Right now we are working with numbers, so I'm selecting data type as number. Initial value, I'm giving it as 10 and click OK. So now the variable A has value 10. Okay, but you don't call it as variable here, you call it as data item. Okay, you have A now, you need another value to add, right? So for that, again, you drag and drop another data item, double click on it, and I'm naming it as B, value for B. This data type is again a number. Initial value is 5. Okay, click OK. Just a moment. Okay. Yeah. So now you have values of A and B. You want to do addition. What is the logic for addition? A plus B, right? So it is simple. And you have a stage called calculation stage here. Okay. For all your arithmetic operations, you can use this stage. Okay. Calculation stage. Drag and drop this stage here. Okay. And double click on it. So it will open the properties of that stage. I'm doing addition, so I'm naming it as addition. Expression. See, there are multiple ways where you can create your expression. Okay, if you see here, all your data types are displayed. Okay, if you remember, we have created our data item as type number. Okay, so they are visible under numbers. You can drag and drop the data items in expression A and plus, plus, right? Then B. Okay, so validate, it is saying stage to store result in does not exist. So that means you are doing A plus B and it will return some value, right? You have to store that somewhere, so you have to create another data item. For that, you don't have to go back to Canva worksheet and then drag and drop data item and create it there. You can create it from here as well. This store result in there, right? You have to start clicking in, and this icon is highlighted. As soon as you start typing in, this will get highlighted. And name your data item and click on this icon. See, it is tagged under numbers. So this is called as casting variable type, because if you are working with numbers, the store in result is also going to be a number and it will automatically get stored under numbers. Okay, so this is how you can build your expression. Okay, this is simple expression, so everyone would know how to create this expression. But what if in case of some complex expressions? Okay, so if you are not comfortable building your expressions in the beginning, what you can do is you have default functions here. If you see functions, there are multiple functions available here. So I'm working with numbers, so click on numbers. If you want some logic, you can create logic. So all the possible options that are there in logic will be visible here: greater than or equal to, is number, less than or equal to, and etc. All logics will be available there. And under numbers, all possible things you can do with numbers are available here. So what I'm trying to do is addition, so click on add. So drag your data item here A and drag the value B here. Okay, you have to basically click on number. I'm doing addition, so I clicked on add, then I drag and drop the data items here, then click on paste. See, A plus B, it's same. Okay, so if you are able to write expressions by your own, you will be more productive. But if you think you need some time to build your expressions by your own, you can always use the built-in functions here. Okay, so it's good practice to validate your expression before running the process. Click on validate, expression is valid. You can also check your logic, evaluate expression. So let me give some numbers: 5 plus 9 and test 14. It is a number, so your expression is working fine. So it's good practice to validate and evaluate your expression before you are running your process. See, data item is automatically created. Sum is automatically created, which we created it from here, from calculation properties. Now you have to link your flowchart process. Okay, you have to link from center to center, not from edge to edge. Okay, so this is how you will link your process. This is called as link stage. Okay, now reset your process. This is the place where you can reset it, and this is also refresh. Both are same. Okay, so data items will just float on your canvas. You will not be able to link them. You will not be able to link them anywhere. Okay, they just float. Okay, and this is the run button. Okay, click on run. Yeah, see, it does the operation. 10 plus 5 is 15. So this is what it is displaying. And when you click on sum, the initial value is nothing because we have created this to store the value. That's it. So current value is 15. Okay, it does the addition and it is storing the value there. Okay, so this is how you create. See, the example which I have taken is simple example, but even in case of complex example, or if though your process is big, the approach is going to be the same. Okay, you will drag and drop one of the available stages here depending on your requirement. Okay, and you have to build your expression like this. You can either manually type in your expression here, or you can use built-in functions. And if you want to store any result, again you have to create a data item for that, and this is where you can run your process. Okay, so we talked about control module, right? So this is how I will run my process from Process Studio. But what if in case you want to run it from your Control Studio? Okay, how will this process be visible in Control Studio? See, go to Process Control Studio now. Sorry, main page, go to control module. See, we don't have that process. We created process as process 1. There is no process here, if you see. Okay, so in order to make your process visible in Process Studio, you have to publish it. You have to double click on it. You see a place, publish this process to control room. Click on this. Click OK. Okay, so now save your process. Save changes. Okay, close this and refresh. You come to the main page of BluePrism tool, come to control module. So here you can refresh. Yeah, sometimes refresh is not working. So in that case, you have to log in, log out of the tool and then try, because this is a known issue actually. Sometimes refresh doesn't work. So I am trying to log out and then log in. To control room. Yeah, see, your process is available here, process 1. This is the process which we have created in the studio module. The resource is still offline because I just logged out and logged in. It will take couple of seconds. Okay, um, otherwise, meanwhile, I will show you the object as well, how you can create a process in your object module. Yeah, it is connecting. Object module, and how it is different from Process Studio. Okay, so basically to run this process, what you have to do is you have to click on the process name, drag and drop on top of your resource. Okay, see, your process is available here. This is the environment process. If you just click on this, you can see start button. Click on start. Okay, it is completed now. If you want to see the parameters of it, right click on it. If you want to see the process, click on view process. You will be able to see the process here. And if you want to compare the test result, right click on view log. See, you will be able to see the log it has generated, and these are all the stages you used. There is start stage, you used calculation stage, and you named it as addition, and this is the result 15. Okay, so this is how you can run your process from control module. Okay, you have to basically publish it to run it from control module and to make the process visible here. Okay, so this is how you will design a process and run it. Now let's understand what object is, how different it is from process. Okay, so I will take an example which I have already developed, because interacting with application, I mean web application or anything, is going to take time. which will will be out of scope for this demo as well. So I will explain it with an object which I have already created. So notepad object, double click on it. Okay, so this is how your object studio looks like. Okay, so you have important thing here in object is application modeler. Okay, so whereas in process you don't have this. Okay, you don't have this application modeler in process studio, you have it only in object studio. This is one of the major difference. Okay, because only in object studio you will be able to interact with applications. Okay, so double click on it and click on application wizard. So the name of the object I have given is notepad object. You have to give the name of the application here. Click next. So it is asking you what type of application you are using. Okay, so I want to automate notepad. So it is a Windows application. So I have selected it as Windows. If you are automating Gmail, you can give as browser based application depending on the need. Click on next. So you can say from where do you want to launch the file. I want to launch it from .exe. There is another option also. If your file is already running and if you want to attach it in between the process, you can select this option. Click next. You have to give the path of your application, where it is actually located. This is where my notepad is located. So I have given this path. Click next. These are system default stuff. Finish. Okay, so this is called as application element tree. Okay, so there is a tab called launch, right? If you click on launch, it will take the path of this particular application and it will launch that application. See, I will just click on launch here. See, it is launching the notepad. Okay, so if you want to write something in objects, you have a technique called as spying. Okay, spying is nothing but it will help you to identify the elements that are there here. If you want to make your process to click on file automatically, you have to spy this particular file tab using a spying technique. Okay, so I'm not going to cover that in demo, but I'm just telling you for information purpose. Okay, you have to use spy technique, capture the file element. Okay, and you have to use one of the available stages here to make your process click on that file. Okay, or in any other element in that case. Okay, so now this is how you will interact with application modeler. You have to basically give the path of the application which you are working. If you want to launch google.com, right, you have to give that path here. That's it, the browser path here. By default, BluePrism uses Internet Explorer. You also can change it. Click OK. So see, this is a simple process which I have written for the purpose of demo. Okay, and this is one major difference. You don't have this application modeler in Process Studio, and other differences are you don't have these stages in Process Studio. You don't have these stages. See, open any process. You don't have a read, write, or code, wait, or wait stages here. But whereas in Object Studio you have these stages: read, write, navigate, code, and wait. This means you will navigate to web pages or you will navigate to applications only in Object Studio, and you will write something or you will read something. So that's why you have all these stages here. In Process Studio you won't navigate anywhere, so you don't have these stages. This is another difference. This is another major difference. Okay, so let's run this process and see. Okay, before that I'll explain you what I'm doing. I'm navigating. We have created an application wizard with the name notepad object. Notepad object is the name of the process. Okay, and when you select this is called as root element, and when you select this, you have options by default. Launch, right? So launch, attach and detach. You will have to use it when you are attaching the process in between, attaching the application in between. It is already open and you want to call it in between. At that time you will use attach. Now I am launching it from .exe file, so I selected launch. Click OK. What I'm doing in the next stage is I have captured the text area of notepad. Okay, so this is the element. This is the edit element. I captured using spying technique. I captured the text area of notepad. Okay, and I'm writing some message there. So to write something, you will use the write stage. So this is the write stage. Okay, what do you want to write? You have to just like calculation, right? And if you remember, we written a plus b expression. Similarly, here also you have to write your expression. Hello there. You can write any text. Okay, so I'm writing a simple hello there, and then close. If you want to write anything, you will use write stage and read. What I want to do is I want to capture the message what I have written there to a data item. So I use the read stage. Okay, it will basically read what we have written and it will store it in the data item. See, I'm selecting the edit text area here, which I have captured, and I'm selecting get text. Okay, once you select that, it will read, it will get the text from the notepad and it will store the value here in the data item. Okay, and I'm closing the application, nothing but terminate. I'm terminating the application using navigate stage. So for all your opening and closing, attaching and detaching, you will use navigate stage. This is the navigate stage. To read, write something, you will use read or write stages. So let's run this and see how it is executing. See, it is launching application, it is writing that message, captured the value and closed. See, hello there. This is what the message we have written there. Hello there. Okay, so even with web applications as well, it will show you the UI, how it is, how your process is executing. Once you created your process, you just have to sit back and relax and watch what it is doing. Okay, it will also show you the UI, how your process is running. Okay, in case if it is you have created a bot to send email every day, okay, you also can watch it. Once you start process, it will log into Gmail, then type in your username, password, type in the message and send. You can all visual, it will show you visually. Okay. So yeah, so the key points here are, if you are creating a process, you have to create it in your process studio, and if you want to interact with any applications, you have to design your process in object studio. Okay, once you publish the process, you can run it from control studio as well. Okay, and one more important thing I would like to show you is, we thought ease of usage and debugging, right? See here, we are interacting with notepad. Okay, but we haven't integrated anything. If you are able to reach notepad from your system, you will be able to automate that stuff. If you are able to reach IRCT website, you can do that. If you are able to reach print server, your bot also will be able to do that. I haven't integrated anything. It is just the software with some basic requirements. That's it. You install it and you are good to go to automate all those applications. Okay, so we thought, we also discussed, it is easy to easy for debugging and usage, right? Usage wise, it is easy because you just have to drag and drop them here and everything is already there. Okay, if you see read write stages also, to get the text or to write something, all the stages are there by default. You just have to know what option you have to select. So now I will just create an error. I will just to show you how process validation works. Delete it, reset. It is showing one error. Click on this. Yeah, so this is process validation. Okay, so if you see, it is showing page, the error is coming from main page. Stage name is addition. This is addition stage. Type is error. Action validate. Missing link. So there is no link here, right? So that is what it is showing, missing link. Repairable, no. So repairable will sometimes be yes and no. So that means if it is set to yes, few errors are automatically rectified by BluePrism. If it is set to no, that means you have to go ahead and take the action of fixing that issue. Okay, so now click on, see, we have only 3 stages here, so it is easy for you to identify the issue. But in real time, imagine you have 100 stages. You can't really go to each and every stage and find out the issue, right? So if you click on goes to stage, it will highlight that particular stage. Yeah, see, it is highlighting this particular stage, addition. Okay, so this is how the errors are shown. Even for complex errors also, it is going to be the same way. Okay, link it and reset. Yeah, so this is how you can debug, and there are debug speed, slow, normal and fast. Okay, so you can make your process to run slowly if you want to see how it is executing stage by stage, and you can also set it to fast. Okay, there are other debugging techniques as well, but that will be dealt in the training. Okay, So now this is brief about what RPA is and the overview of the tool. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask me now. If you have any questions, please ask me. I will stop the recording now. Okay.